Good Thursday morning. It's January 9th, 2025. It's going to be a cold and windy day as we get winds out of the north, gusting up to 40 miles per hour today. Wind chills will feel cold in the teens most of the day. It started off in the single digits. Tonight as we get cold again. Tomorrow morning, same thing. Single digits to near zero for the cold. We have a really cold set of days, but afternoons will get a little bit warmer, especially into Monday, where we could warm up to close to 40 degrees. And then still staying cold next week as we head through the week. As of now, though, tomorrow night, the snow, we'll see it here on the weather maps, come through. It's going to be really light. I think up to an inch is very possible. There's a chance we could squeak out a little bit more because it's so dry in the atmosphere that maybe these the snowflakes of fall could have maximum dendrite growth, which could mean that we get a little more than an inch if lucky, if you like so. If not, then no. Anyway, here we go. So this is today. The strong winds, as I mentioned, here we are. Tight isobars, so cold northerly winds. Here's the big storm in the south, going to cause snowstorm down far south here, down to Alabama and Georgia. Is going to see a winter storm out of this thing. The moisture kind of getting streamed north here, and a little bit linked very lightly to something in the northern stream is why we get our snow. And here it is coming in. This tomorrow night. Ever so briefly, it may snow a little bit heavier. This is overnight, so it's very early morning Saturday. Then it moves out fairly quickly, and then we just stay kind of cold through the weekend. But you do see the heights kind of come up here as this high gets out to the front and the low comes in. For the first time in a while, heights get above where they have been for a while. So that's why on Sunday into Monday, we're going to finally warm up above freezing and stay there on Monday. But then here comes the cold again, another front coming through. Maybe a few flurries, hard to pick up here, but I wouldn't be surprised if a few flurries come out of it. Then we got strong winds again here, northerly winds, cold air next week. Shocking, I know. No, it's been a cold winter. Not necessarily a snowy one, but it's been cold so far. And then later next week, we look like we could warm up for a bit. And right as we warm up, a front comes through, may cause some rain. Could be a little mixy, we're not sure. But then that could be the reinforcing shot here of much colder air moving into the region again. And then we go, this is out on the 20th. So that's when we see the pattern change time. That's actually honestly a time where I think we could potentially see a storm. I'll show you the European really quickly here. But then, cold air comes back in for the rest of the month. And then maybe something, wintry again later. We'll have to see. Hard to say, but it doesn't look like it's going to warm up much. Only warm up briefly. And when it does, of course, the storm comes through. And because it was a talk around, we definitely want to show the European here. Again, it also shows a storm with some very light snow, even lighter than what the GFS has. Although enough to potentially eke out an inch of snow, like I said, or a little bit more. So I think right around an inch, maybe seeing what we see tomorrow night. Cold air sticks around, maybe a few flurries. Then here's that little warm-up bubble where we get the warmer air. And because of that, we go over to rain in the long range here. And then it gets cold again on the backside. But this has a follow-up snowstorm. And that is something definitely that I would be interested in seeing if that could come to fruition. But that's the first, next chance I see after around the 20th. And then maybe something else later in the period. Doesn't look super warm, but it does look like we have little warm bubbles here coming in the midst of cold. Warm them up, you get a chance. It's almost flip times where you go between warm and cold. Potentially you could eke out a snowstorm. And I wouldn't trust the models on where low pressure system is going to be in that time, other than the fact that there could be some low pressures. This is so far out there, by the way, I wouldn't even say this is going to be what comes true. Around the 20th is the first time that a storm gets close to us, though, enough to where we start to look for a potential system that could affect us. Really, really fast. Let's look at how much snow both the models put out for us. This is a European model, so again, we're going to go over tomorrow night. You can see not even an inch of snow being pushed out here for the 10-to-1, but if we get the better dendrite growth, meaning the higher ratio snows, maybe we would get up over or around an inch, just based on what's going on. So that was the European. Just going with the American model here to show you the kind of same deal. Same thing, about an inch, and this is the higher ratioed model, so about an inch. The most we're going to see is an inch. It's going to be really fluffy, powdery, very light snow. Maybe ever so briefly we see a little bit more come down, and then it's going to be over. So nothing too much to write at home about. Cold sticks around, but a little bit warmer as we go Sunday, Monday, and then reinforcing cold next week, and then we'll watch for the long term. That's it. Have an awesome Thursday. It's been your Loudoun County Weather Outlook.